black artists have been taken advantage of completely. And it's time now.
Oprah Winfrey's 1993 interview with Michael Jackson was supposed to be a big moment and inside look into the life of the king of pop. Instead, it turned into something else entirely. Oprah didn't hold back, asking Michael about his changing appearance, saying, "The color of your skin is obviously different than it was when you were younger, and I think it has caused a lot of speculation." This moment sparked years of questions and rumors. Then, just last year, Oprah hosted another special that seemed to drag Michael Jackson's name through the mud all over again. But here's the thing, this story goes way beyond just Michael. Michael had always spoken out about the gatekeepers in the entertainment industry, the powerful people who control everything behind the scenes. He said these people hurt black artists, stealing from them and using them however they pleased. Oprah, with all her influence, has often been tied to these very same gatekeepers, so why does she seem so determined to tear down Michael Jackson's legacy? Could it be that he represented something she couldn't control? Or maybe it's because he called out the corruption in Hollywood, something Oprah might not want the world to focus on. With all her power, it makes you wonder what's really behind her repeated attacks on Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was seen as a serious threat to everything Oprah had worked for. But it wasn't just her inner circle, the ones with the real power, felt the same way. They were the ultimate gatekeepers, people so influential that they could bring down even the biggest stars if they wanted to. And that's exactly why they worked so hard to find a way to silence him. When you're the best at what you do, people start to get nervous. Michael was that kind of talent, so good that no one wanted him to open for them because they feared he would make them look bad right from the start. Now, for millions of fans, Oprah's 1993 interview with Michael was supposed to be the moment he could set the record straight and finally end all those crazy rumors about him. But for those who understand how Hollywood really works, it felt different. It wasn't about giving Michael a chance to speak his truth, it felt more like an attempt to keep him in check. Some even believe it was part of a bigger plan, with Oprah playing her part. Was she just following the lead of powerful people in the industry, trying to shut Michael down before he could expose things they didn't want the world to know? The question is, was Oprah really on his side, or was there something much deeper at play? There's been a lot of talk about what really happened during Michael Jackson's famous 1993 interview with Oprah, and many believe it was more than just a simple chat. It might have been a way to cover up some of the industry's darkest secrets. Oprah scored a huge win by landing the interview at Michael's legendary Neverland Ranch, and it quickly became the most watched TV interview ever. The goal was clear: set the record straight and shut down all the crazy rumors that had been following Michael for years. And let's be real, those rumors were wild. People thought he was trying to change his skin color, wanted to change his gender, owned the Elephant Man's bones, slept in an oxygen chamber, secretly married Elizabeth Taylor, had a psychic monkey as his best friend, lived a double life, and was somehow celibate. Yes, all of that. This interview was supposed to be Michael's chance to clear things up and show fans the real him, but things took a turn when Oprah didn't hold back. She went straight for the personal questions, asking about his appearance. Michael was honest, saying he never tried to change his skin color. Instead, he explained how he used makeup to even out blotches on his skin. What was meant to be a moment to clear the air ended up feeling uncomfortable and strange as the conversation kept digging deeper. It left viewers wondering, was this really about understanding Michael, or was there something else at play here? During the interview, Michael Jackson addressed the rumors about his changing appearance, including the wild claims that he had multiple surgeries. He shut those rumors down, but then, in a rare and emotional moment, he opened up about something personal: his skin condition. Michael revealed he had vitiligo, a disorder that causes the skin to lose its pigmentation. "I have a skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of the skin. It's something I can't help," he said, his voice filled with emotion. He added, "But when people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it really hurts me." If you watch the interview closely, you could feel the tension in the air. Oprah didn't seem completely convinced by Michael's explanation about his vitiligo, and it showed. She kept pressing him for more details, almost as if she wasn't ready to accept his answer. It felt like she was pushing him to reveal more than he was willing to share. Even more telling was how she kept interrupting him, cutting him off just when he started to open up. It gave the feeling that Oprah didn't want Michael to fully explain why his skin had changed. This left many fans wondering if there was something else going on behind the scenes. When Oprah brought up skin bleaching, Michael firmly denied it. "As far as I know, there's no such thing as skin bleaching. I've never seen it, and I don't know what it is," he said. Even though Michael had heard of such things growing up, he made it clear that it wasn't something he ever used. That moment left the audience questioning whether Oprah's questioning was really about understanding Michael, or if there was another agenda at play during the interview. During the interview, Michael Jackson tried to explain how ridiculous the idea of him using bleach to change his skin color was. "You'd need about 300,000 gallons of bleach," he joked, but Oprah cut him off before he could fully get his point across. As Michael started talking about how much the rumors and public scrutiny had hurt him, it was clear he was trying to open up about the emotional pain he'd been carrying for years, but Oprah didn't seem interested in letting him fully express himself. Instead of making it a real, heartfelt conversation, it felt like Oprah was trying to control the interview. It made many fans question, was Oprah really trying to understand Michael and let him speak his truth, or was she steering the conversation in a direction that suited her own goals? The tension didn't stop there. Oprah then brought up Michael's complicated relationship with his father, Joe Jackson, who had been known for being very strict and harsh during Michael's childhood. Michael admitted that his father's tough love and harsh words had really hurt him, but he also showed respect and love for his father despite everything. In this moment, Michael was vulnerable, revealing a side of himself that many hadn't seen before. But again, it felt like Oprah wasn't letting him have the space to fully open up, almost like she was pushing for specific answers rather than allowing him to share his feelings freely. As the interview went on, it became clear that Michael was trying to protect his father's feelings, but Oprah wasn't letting up. She pushed hard, questioning Michael's loyalty to his dad and even suggesting that he might need therapy to deal with his past. The tone of the conversation grew tense, and many people watching felt like Oprah was crossing a line. But the moment that really had everyone talking was when Oprah shifted the conversation to Michael's love life. She straight up asked him if he was a virgin, a question that left a lot of viewers cringing. Michael, always the gentleman, gracefully dodged the question, calling it private. Instead, he shared that he was dating actress Brooke Shields at the time and talked about how he valued old-fashioned principles. But Oprah's insistence on pushing the topic made fans wonder, was she really curious, or was she trying to dig into his private life or something more? Then, out of nowhere, Oprah changed gears again, almost accusing Michael of hiding something. The atmosphere in the room got even more intense as she put pressure on him, trying to get him to open up about things he clearly wasn't ready to talk about. The tension in the air was palpable, and viewers couldn't help but feel like Oprah was more interested in making Michael uncomfortable than allowing him to share his story. The interview took a sharp turn when Oprah asked Michael about his close friendships with children. She wanted to know why he spent so much time with them, and Michael, looking a little uncomfortable, explained that he found comfort in their innocence and purity. It was something he felt he missed out on given how his childhood was taken away by his fame. Michael shared that he invited kids to Neverland to spread joy and create the happiness he never got to experience. But Oprah wasn't convinced. She pressed harder, asking if he ever shared his bed with the kids. The tone of the question felt like she was suggesting something inappropriate, and it really hit a nerve. This moment didn't sit well with Michael, and it upset many of his fans. They felt Oprah was being too harsh, too invasive, and downright disrespectful. It seemed like she was trying to make him look bad, and at the worst possible time. Just months after the interview aired, the first allegations of sexual assault against Michael came out, throwing his world into chaos and leaving a lasting mark on his legacy. Then, to make matters worse, came the Leaving Neverland documentary, which brought the controversy back into the spotlight. It was a series of events that only added fuel to the fire and complicated the public's view of Michael Jackson even more. When the Leaving Neverland documentary aired, featuring James Safechuck and Wade Robson sharing their stories about Michael Jackson, Oprah didn't hold back. She publicly supported the accusers and even did a follow-up interview to give more attention to their claims. This left many of Michael's fans feeling like Oprah was helping fuel the controversy and keeping it alive. What made it even harder to understand was that the attacks on Michael had started long before Oprah ever met him. This led some to believe that Oprah had turned her back on him. Fans took to social media, and one person said Oprah was jealous of Michael Jackson. He was beautiful, charismatic, talented, and had a strong, loving family. Another fan said, I never thought I'd say this about Oprah, but it seems like she's all about the money she can make off of someone. Oprah's involvement in the situation got people thinking, and many began to question whether her actions were more about profit than genuine concern. It left fans divided, wondering if Oprah had crossed a line in her pursuit of a bigger story, even if it meant going against someone as iconic as Michael Jackson. Oprah's decision to air Leaving Neverland sparked a massive backlash, and many people felt it was an unfair attack on Michael Jackson, especially since he was never found guilty of the allegations against him. What made it worse was how fans and critics noticed that Oprah seemed to treat Michael much differently than Harvey Weinstein, who was convicted and sentenced to prison for similar accusations. This stark contrast angered Jackson's fans, and even his family. Jermaine Jackson, Michael's older brother, didn't hold back. He publicly called out Oprah and the media, saying they were just accepting the documentary's claims without checking the facts or considering proof. He reminded everyone that Michael had already been found innocent in a court of law during his 2005 trial. Tajir Jackson, Michael's nephew, also spoke out. He was particularly upset since he had ties to one of the accusers, Wade Robson. Taj even shared a personal story about Oprah wanting an interview with his grandmother, but he felt her focus on Michael had turned into an unfair attack. The Jackson family was clearly upset, and many fans felt like Oprah's actions were more about drama than getting to the truth. It left people wondering, was the media really after justice, or were they just trying to stir up more controversy around Michael? After Michael Jackson passed away, his children, especially his daughter Paris, have been open about how they feel their father was misunderstood. Paris, like her aunt LaToya, believes that his death wasn't just a tragic accident. They think there were people who wanted to control his money and legacy, and they believe these people were willing to go as far as to have him killed to get what they wanted. Fans quickly started coming up with their own theories about Michael's death. One of the most talked about ideas was that it wasn't just a mistake, but a planned move. Some fans suspected Dr. Conrad Murray, Michael's doctor at the time, was somehow involved in a bigger plot. They pointed out the medications found at Michael's house after his death. A police report even revealed Michael had been prescribed up to 40 different medications. This led many to think that Dr. Murray was used as a pawn in something much bigger. But Paris Jackson, Michael's daughter, doesn't buy into the idea that it was just a mistake. In an interview with Rolling Stone, she said all the evidence pointed to something more sinister. She believes her father was intentionally harmed by people who wanted to take advantage of him. She made it clear that only true fans would understand the full story and that they could see the truth behind everything. Her belief in this theory has stirred up a lot of discussion, with fans and family members alike questioning whether Michael was taken from them in a way that was part of a larger plan to take control of his wealth and legacy. Paris Jackson has always been open about her belief that her father's death wasn't a simple tragedy. In an emotional interview, she shared that Michael used to drop hints about feeling like someone was after him. At some point, he said, "They're going to off me one day," she recalled. When asked directly if she thought her father was murdered, she didn't hold back, answering, "Absolutely, it's obvious, all arrows point to that." Paris believes that what happened to her dad sounds like a crazy conspiracy, but to her, it's not just theory, it's the truth that only real fans and close family members understand. She's certain it was a setup. Unlike some of her relatives, like her Aunt Nellie Toya, Paris doesn't believe Dr. Conrad Murray is the sole person responsible. She views the situation as more complicated, almost like a chess game. According to Paris, there were many people involved who had something to gain from Michael's estate. She hinted that the plot against him was deeper than anyone knows, and she holds back from saying too much. She described it as a chess game, suggesting that revealing more could make things even more dangerous for those who might be hiding the truth. Michael's global influence and fame made him a huge target, and Paris feels the real people behind his death are still out there, pulling the strings from behind the scenes. Paris Jackson has always kept quiet about the truth behind her father's death, staying out of the spotlight and working behind the scenes. But deep down, she believes there's much more to the story than most people know. Paris is determined to get justice for Michael, but she knows it's going to take time and strategy. She hopes that as she becomes more successful, she'll be in a better position to fight for the truth. In an interview with Rolling Stone, she explained, "I definitely want justice, but it's a chess game and I'm trying to play it the right way. That's all I can say for now." Paris isn't the only one who feels this way. Janet Jackson, Michael's sister, has always been very close to him, and she also feels strongly about how the world treated Michael's legacy. Janet believes that Oprah played a big role in damaging Michael's career and reputation. For the Jackson family, it's not just about what Oprah did. They feel betrayed by someone they once trusted. Janet especially feels the anger and frustration because she saw up close how unfairly Michael was treated by the media. She feels the pain of that betrayal, and it's clear that she still carries that weight today. The Jackson family has carried a lot of pain over the years, especially when it comes to the allegations against Michael. For Janet Jackson, watching Oprah repeatedly amplify those accusations must have felt like a personal betrayal. She's always said that her brother would never do what he was accused of, but because of the media and Oprah's relentless questioning, she too was forced to bear that judgment. It was a heavy burden for the family, especially when it seemed like Oprah, someone who once had their trust, was turning against them. Now, with people questioning Oprah's actions more than ever, especially when it comes to how she's treated Black entertainers, the Jacksons haven't let go of the hurt they feel. Sources close to the family have said they believe Oprah started a campaign to tear Michael down. For them, it wasn't about getting to the truth, it was about bringing down one of the greatest artists to ever live. That resentment is still strong today, and they feel Oprah owes them an apology. Janet Jackson especially has made it clear. When asked if Oprah betrayed Michael, her answer was simple, firm, and filled with emotion: absolutely. 100%. The Jacksons, still deeply affected, are waiting for Oprah to recognize the damage she caused and to make things right. Janet Jackson wasn't just angry at Oprah for how she treated her brother, but also felt betrayed on behalf of their whole family. Michael Jackson, though, was always outspoken, especially when it came to standing up for himself, even when it meant calling out others. One of the most talked about moments was when Michael Jackson and Beyoncé's names came up in a conversation about dancing. It all started when MC Hammer shared a story about a conversation he had with Michael Jackson. According to Hammer, MJ once told him, "You're the greatest dancer ever, Hammer. What you do is complicated and amazing." But then Hammer hinted that maybe Beyoncé was an even better dancer, and Michael quickly disagreed. He said she takes lessons, she's not that good. Michael Jackson was famous for his dance moves, and what made them special was that they were all his own. While most artists worked with choreographers, Michael created his own iconic steps. So when Beyoncé came into the conversation, Michael made it clear he thought she still had a lot of learning to do. He respected her but believed she wasn't quite at his level yet. It was a moment that showed just how much Michael believed in his own artistry. He was confident in his abilities and wasn't afraid to voice his opinions, even when they might be surprising to others. Michael Jackson was always known for creating his own dance moves. Unlike many other artists who hired choreographers, MJ was the mastermind behind every routine, making his moves truly iconic. So when he made a comment about Beyoncé taking lessons to perfect her moves, it wasn't just a passing thought, it was a subtle jab. He was basically saying that while Beyoncé was an amazing performer, her moves weren't entirely original. For Michael, it was all about authenticity, and he took pride in the fact that everything he did was uniquely his own. Now, if we talk about Oprah, she's been under a lot of fire recently. People have started questioning her connections to some pretty controversial figures like Jeffrey Epstein and Harvey Weinstein. The heat on Oprah started to grow after a 2003 interview with Dolly Parton, and now she's facing criticism from all sides. The backlash is real, and it feels like people are finally holding her accountable for things she may have overlooked in the past. But it doesn't stop with Oprah. A recent podcast episode that lasted almost 3 hours was full of shade aimed at some big names in the industry, including Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, and Ricky Martin. Even Martin Lawrence didn't escape the criticism. It was a bold, fearless conversation that didn't hold back on calling out people for their past actions. It's clear now that in 2024, no one, no matter how powerful or famous, is immune to being called out and held accountable. In 2021, Dolly Parton found herself in the spotlight again after a viral moment with Oprah stirred up controversy. During their interview, Oprah brought up Dolly's plastic surgery, a comment that didn't sit well with many viewers. The backlash was swift, and it reignited a wave of criticism, this time aimed at Oprah herself. Actress Rose McGowan, a prominent voice in the Me Too movement, didn't hold back. In a now-deleted tweet, she called out Oprah for her ties to Harvey Weinstein and questioned why Oprah backed out of producing a documentary about the women accusing Russell Simmons of misconduct. McGowan accused Oprah of putting personal gain over justice, raising doubts about her authenticity as a champion for women. Once celebrated as a symbol of empowerment, Oprah is now under scrutiny. Many are asking tough questions about her role in Hollywood and her connections to figures like Weinstein. Back in 2018, singer Seal even accused Oprah of knowing about Weinstein's behavior and doing nothing to stop it. These allegations have left fans and critics wondering, has Oprah's image as a force for good in Hollywood been just that, an image? In a now-deleted post, singer Seal didn't hold back when calling out Oprah. He wrote, "Oh, I forgot you'd heard the rumors but had no idea he was actually targeting young actresses who had no clue what they were walking into. My bad, you've been part of the problem for decades, but now everyone thinks you're the solution." For years, Oprah has been seen as a fierce supporter of the Me Too movement, speaking out against abuse and misuse of power in Hollywood. But her close relationship with Harvey Weinstein has made many people pause. Critics are asking how someone as deeply connected to Hollywood as Oprah could not have known about Weinstein's actions. But that's not the only controversy linked to Oprah. Rumors have swirled about her alleged connections to Hollywood's darker side, and some believe Michael Jackson might have known more than he let on. Over the years, Michael's cryptic comments and mysterious behavior had fans wondering if he was aware of the secret power plays happening behind the scenes in the entertainment industry. Some even say he was preparing to expose major truths, including Oprah's possible ties to Hollywood's compromises and cover-ups. Then came Michael's sudden and tragic death, leaving those rumors unanswered. The timing raised eyebrows, with many asking, was he silenced before he could reveal the truth? While we may never know, the whispers haven't stopped and the mystery lingers. Imagine if Michael had lived to tell his story. Could it have changed everything we thought we knew about Hollywood? It's a question that keeps people wondering about the secrets that may never see the light of day. What do you think?